Hello and welcome. My name is JodieLynn Craven, founder and creator of Abundance Consciousness, and this is my dear friend, Heather Marie.
Hi, I'm Heather Marie, founder of Soulgate. Welcome to Channel Squared, where we have extraordinary conversations about everyday life topics.
Yeah, we sure do. Today, we are diving into Ascension. It's time. That is our topic today. Holy man, this is a big one. So, we're going to be covering what is Ascension anyway? Why do you want to do it? What it feels like? How do you do it? It's so important, especially now. I think every time we channel, Heather, you and I continuously get the message, be the observer. And in essence, the way that I think about that is simply choosing a higher vibration. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, totally. I think that when we talk about being the observer, I don't know how much more literal we can get with be the observer other than to don't act, just watch, right? So, or don't react, I guess I should say. So I think that, when you come from a place of the observer, you're coming from a place of, I see what's happening. I choose whether or not to ingest it. And I choose whether or not to react or behave or whatever with it. Right. And as a sense, like a byproduct of that, you naturally have the opportunity to raise your vibration by not engaging in a negative way. Don't you think?
Uh, yeah, I couldn't agree more. And it's easier said than done.
So true. So true. I am
Maybe
the first one to admit that, boy, I can totally get sucked in. And it is, boy, something.
it's almost like a soap opera, life in general. I don't know if you were ever a fan of soap operas or cheesy movies or things like that, but it's kind of like that where you get sucked into and you're the only thing you see is the four walls around you, the world that feels like it's spinning so fast or caving in on yourself. And there's so much more to the world than just what you are seeing. So I think that's one of the reasons why ascension is so important at this time. If we continue to focus on what is right in front of us, what is or what we perceive is, we'll keep recreating that over and over and over again. And I think we can all agree, regardless of where you stand in this world, we're ready to move on. We are ready to go to the next level, the next frequency. What are some of the benefits that you see outside of that? Like, why do people need to ascend the most?
Well, I mean, it's all about collective, right? I mean, if one goes, everybody goes. So if we continue to ascend and move upward and onward and into a more positive vibration, a more uplifted vibration, naturally it's going to change everything about the dynamic that we are currently experiencing. You know, part of the problem that I think we're seeing with the ascension and any kind of like slowing or delay is that people continue to feed the negativity. They just continue to give more and more energy to the negativity, to the polarity, to everything that's keeping us grounded in this current paradigm, this current dimension. So, this current density, I mean, things feel dense. So if we can uplift and inspire one another, uplift and inspire ourselves, uplift and inspire those around us, those we love, those we don't love, regardless, the more uplifting and inspiring we become, we all go with that. We all get to move to the new density, which is so much easier. Like, let's go.
Let's go. The new density doesn't have polarity, which is really great. It's of ease, abundance. You know, who doesn't want that?
Right.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want that?
Yeah. And I think something tangible that we could bring to the table is maybe some examples that hit home of how we are playing into our own reality. And when we stop playing into that reality, things change. I can think of one off of the top of my head. This person in my life was really, really close to me, and we didn't have a very good relationship, but it's not like I could not talk to them because they were like really close to me. And this person I felt was picking on me all the time. And, there was just this like friction between us. And I knew that she would never change, but I started to change. I started to just send love to her. I started to disconnect this button of like, that she had with me and just let it go, realize that she was doing the best that she can with what she's learned so far in life and where she's at right now, and that her soul is good. And the more that I reminded myself of this, every interaction with her began to change. And now we are closer than ever before. And I think that is a really good example of how when you change, the reality around you really changes.
Well, yeah. And I think that, something that you touched on here is your perspective. You changed your perspective. You came to this from a place of love. You were experiencing this, friction, discomfort in the relationship, and you chose differently. You chose in that moment to ascend to a higher vibration and then hold that vibration. And by you holding that vibration, you forced her to lift and raise with you. You literally drug her through the trenches by the scruff of her neck and said, come on, you're coming with me to a brighter place. So, and you did that because you changed your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really all it takes, instead of dwelling on the fact that, maybe this person is, that there's this friction with this person, you chose love instead.
Yeah. Super powerful. One of the things I thought of as you were talking is like a thought that used to come up a lot for me is, why do I have to do it? Like, why do I have to be the one that's the bigger person, or, changes my perspective? And if I could answer my own question now with the insight and the wisdom that I have, is because the other side is better. I was waiting forever for this person to treat me differently with this old perspective that I was in, this old frequency that I was in. And then I just simply changed, and I didn't really have to do any work. It wasn't like I was dragging bags through the mud. It was just a reminder, these conscious reminders to myself when I was around this person, to lead with love and to let go of some of the things that I was holding on to. And then everything changed. Absolutely everything changed. So the outcome is exactly what I wanted. So I had the power to change it all along. And if you're sitting there thinking, why me? Why not you? If you have the power to change everything in your life, why wouldn't you?
Right. Why wouldn't you? I mean, and that just speaks to volumes to the creators that we really are. Mm-hmm. Law of attraction speaks very heavily on where your emotional set point goes, everything flows. So if you are in a place of, garbage, you're going to attract more garbage. If you're in a place of positivity and joy, you're going to attract more things that make you feel positive and joyful. So, and it's not easy. It's not easy, and it's not easy because of the density that we're in. Mm-hmm. We are in the one place in the universe of all universes. We're in the one place that good and evil can coexist. So of course it's not going to be easy. That's what we came here for.
And
And
go ahead.
and we came here for the ascension at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we are here for the ascension.
Yeah. If not to lead the ascension.
Exactly.
Something I want to add too is there's this false belief with the law of attraction that it means you can't feel anything but positive. And that's not what we're saying here, because when you're being fake,
Totally.
fake positive or fake happy, or, like think of that clown with the smile on it. That's terrifying. Like that's not real. That's not authentic energy. And it's okay to feel that. When I was talking about this person, that was a very difficult shift to make. I'll just be honest. She'll probably watch this, but it was my mom. And we had this strife between us, and it was heartbreaking. I would want to cry. I was so frustrated, and I was really in that experience with her, until I decided to disconnect the button and to step away from it and to start sending her love. And now, like I said, our relationship is completely different. Like, she comes over to have wine night, and we just, sit and talk. She's become a dear friend of mine. And I had to see that her heart was love, her soul was love, and that maybe she didn't know how to get there yet, but I could, because I knew how. And I cried many a times, but the outcome was me letting go of those feelings, letting go of that struggle that I was having, letting go of what I thought it should look like or what I thought she should do, and took the responsibility back, took the control back, and worked through it, and then came at it with love.
And, I think so many people can really relate to having a relationship like that with their mom. I mean, let's face it, women have a struggle with other women oftentimes.
Yes.
I don't know if it's just a genetic blueprint over the history of being cave woman, or what it is, but there are many women who have exactly that relationship with their mom, and it sucks. It sucks. And it doesn't need to be this way. It doesn't need to be this way with any relationship with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose to see them through the lens of love.
Yeah. So powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So powerful. So when we ascend, we change the entire world. We change the world that we see. I think that's a big enough reason to do it.
Totally. Boom.
Yeah. But ascension comes with its own stuff. I'm sure that everybody that's listening has heard of ascension flu or ascension symptoms. Let's talk about this. When we were talking about this topic, our business partner was saying, I hate when people refer to ascension flu and whatever. I'd love to hear your opinion on that.
Well, I mean, yeah, ascension flu. Okay. So what does ascension flu look like? I call them ascension symptoms. People call them flu, I think, because sometimes they have actual physical reactions in your body. So sometimes when you are going through an ascension, you will experience chills. You'll experience maybe vomiting, diarrhea, upset stomach, headaches. Headaches are a big one. To the point of migraines type of headaches, debilitating fatigue, like extreme exhaustion. All of those things that make you just want to crawl under a rock and die. When you are having those, you are on your way.
You are on your way.
Yeah.
Oh man, it doesn't feel like you're on your way though. It's kind of
No.
such a like polarity in itself, right? You feel like you're going the opposite way, but really you're
Totally.
ascending. I mean, I can definitely relate to like groggy, like drudging, like feeling throughout your body. And yeah, it doesn't exactly feel that great sometimes.
No, it sucks. It
Yeah,
sucks. It sucks. Let's just be real. It sucks. It
okay,
blows.
it
You know,
sucks.
but the coolest part about it is that when you get to the other side of that, you feel amazing
Yeah,
and you know you've been through it.
yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. I remember. Let me tell you about this time when I had like the worst ascension symptoms. So I was doing some work, some shadow work to clear away negative programming that I had set in place over the course of many lifetimes, in that in between space where you're not reincarnating at that point, but you haven't just died. It's that like intermediary place. So in that time, I installed programs that, I was going to basically torture and suffer regardless of the fact that I've already done that in all my lifetimes. So I did a lot of work with a very very amazing healer. I've been working on that shadow work literally my whole life. And when I was going through it, I mean, I was in like a super dark place. I mean, I would wake up in the morning and the first thing that would go through my mind was, is today the day I'm going to kill myself?
Wow.
And this wasn't that long ago. This was just in the last couple of years. So the thing is it's like, knowing what I know about energetic work, I knew this is just a symptom. This is a symptom of massive growth on the other side. That doesn't mean that I wasn't like lovingly, eyeballing the razor blades in the corner. Okay. But, I think that the point that I'm trying to make here is that even though you have these symptoms and you're going through it, just know to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let it take you, because it beauty is just on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
you know
100%. And I think we get afraid of feeling that depth, but it's required. It's like that pendulum. The further it swings to one side, albeit the dark side or whatever, the negative side, the frustration, the anger, the blame, whatever's there, the sadness, the farther it will swing to the other side. And
exactly.
it doesn't last forever. It
No.
may feel like forever, but, I challenge you all to look back on those hard times now, and they're but a blip. They feel like so long ago. Like, I'm sure if you really thought about it, Heather, you could pinpoint when you exactly felt that way, and what date, but it feels like it was a long time ago, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And and when I think about that time in my life, it was so um I wasn't sure that I was going to make it through it, but I just kept coming from this place of, I know there is an end in sight. There will be an end to this. And it will not end in, me, slitting my wrists or whatever, right? Like this is not how it's supposed to end. So let's just keep going. And even though it's painful, and even though I'm uncomfortable, and even though it would be so much easier to just give up, I am just going to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time I have gone through a hard time in my life before, it's always been bittersweet.
Yeah.
Tastes like ass when you're going through it. and then the greatest candy of life when you get to the other side.
It's right. It's remembering that within that time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So amazing. There's people in the comments saying thank you for being so raw and real. And I agree. It's not easy talking about this. A lot of times we want to look like we're perfect and nothing ever gets us down. And that's not real.
Totally. Well, I mean, we can thank social media for that, right? I mean,
Yes.
the social media is the highlight reel of people's lives. Very few people get on there and share their shadow shit. And if they do, they probably don't have very many followers because, people go to social media to look at how the rest of the world's beautiful life is going. But you know what? Fuck that. It's not like that. Like, really, it's not. People struggle. Everybody has something that's going on in their life every day, and you never know what people in your life are going through. And so the only thing that we can do is just love them wherever they are. Love yourself wherever you are. And just know that today, when you get through today, you get tomorrow to start again, try again, do something new, do something different. If you have something that's like a lingering thing that you're working through that's taking you a couple weeks to get through, okay, so it takes you a couple weeks.
Yeah. Or months.
But don't give up. Yeah, or longer. Or longer.
Or longer. Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. It's there's also this distortion of perfection, especially when we're in it, of I'm the only one feeling this way. And, my husband and I have this conversation a lot about what's going on right now. And, talking about, I feel like we're the only ones that feel this way or whatever that, thought comes up a lot. And I'm constantly trying to remind him to look outside of the corners of the room that we built, the family that we have around us, and start looking for those kinds of people that are having the same experience, because they're out there. I mean, you just shared beautifully your experience of one time that you went through Ascension, and you've probably been through many, many times where maybe it wasn't that bad, or maybe it was worse. I don't know. It's not just one and you're done. And
no, it's rinse and repeat.
It's rinse and repeat. Yes. It's rinse and repeat. And every time, for me anyway, it's been different. I've felt those dark moments like you were talking about, where I would just cry for no reason. Like, what are you sad about? I don't know. I just simply want to cry. You know? I don't know why.
And it's okay. And it's okay to do that. It's totally okay to do that. You don't have to be perfect and happy and la all the time.
Yeah.
It's cool to like just feel all the feels, do all the things, experience all the funk.
Yeah.
But know that you don't have to live there.
Yeah. And even that it could be like a cork like bobbing on the water. Like sometimes you're gonna feel like it's shit, and then it's gonna you're gonna pop your head up and it's sunshine and roses, and then 10 minutes later you're like, ooh. Like it's not a constant, or it doesn't have to be a constant, or it's not always a constant one way or the other. As I think we shift this polarity, as I think we ascend, we start to see how similar both sides are. In the way that inside the darkness, there is light. And inside the hurt, there is something beautiful there too.
Yeah. And you can't see one without the other.
Yeah. Not here.
Not here. You would never see the light if you didn't experience the dark. And you would never see the dark if you didn't experience the light.
Yeah.
Like, this is a gift. being in the polarity. I know that that's, we might have people watching this going, oh my God, that girl, she's out of her damn mind. But for real, this is a gift. And the fact that you're here, your soul is here right now, means that you've done something really well to get here.
Yeah.
Because only the special ones get to be here right now. This is how massive the ascension that we're going through is, that you had to live it exactly to a T to get to this day, to get to this time. So everybody should pat themselves on the back because, you're doing a great job that you're here now. And you're going to be here for the full and complete ascension of this planet. And it really is a gift. So even in your dark moments, when you're longingly gazing at the razor blades, remember these words. Right now it feels hard, but you're here and it's a gift, and it's because you did such a good job before. Don't give up now. You're going to miss the big show.
Yep. I remember when I was going through a really rough patch. I don't know if I've said this on here before. I had, an ectopic pregnancy, and that resulted in emergency surgery. And I was going through all of these emotions, never having a miscarriage before, never having surgery before, never spending a night in the hospital before, all of these things. And, going through it, like looking back on it, we were really close. Like if I would have been sent home that night, I wouldn't be here. So being that close to death and being that close to the loss of a baby, but not understanding that loss whatsoever was really hard for me, because it wasn't a tangible thing outside of my body. Even though I felt my body change, I was really sick and I was having all of these symptoms, pregnancy symptoms. But outside of that, nothing on the outside of my world had changed. So that loss and that, unexpected reasoning of like, you shouldn't be sad, but you should be sad. And like you leave the hospital and they give you this little teddy bear to commemorate all you've been through, and, the soul of your baby. And it's so confusing. And even the surgery, because I was going into the surgery alone, because my husband wasn't there to like walk me in, because I was stable enough to make it through the night, and they did it in the morning. I was terrified because I'd never been through surgery. So I went in and I was like almost hyperventilating, crying, but I was trying really hard to hold it together, like really hard. And when I woke up exactly in that place, and I just started like bawling. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? Like, I'm alive. I'm okay. Like, I'm okay, right, guys? And they're like, yeah, you're fine. This is normal. But that feeling persisted for a week. And I remember feeling all of this stuff so heavily for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I remember my higher self showed up, and I was ready to quit. Like you were saying, longingly looking at the razor blades. For me, it was like, let's just drive off something really high. That'll do. I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to feel it. I was afraid to feel it. And I remember her coming in. This was the first time that I remember her so vividly coming into, my consciousness. Like I saw her sitting there on this throne with this red button. And she said, are you just going to give up again? Like, if that's so, I'm not going to watch this shit show. I'll see you on the other side. And it really made me think. It really woke me up to, I'm supposed to be here. And I can't spend another lifetime just giving up on myself, because I've had multiple. I know that. And I'm strong enough to move through this. So I made the decision on that day. And there was really nothing to do at that point except for decide, I'm going to live. and I'm going to do it the best that I can. And I'm going to get through this. But man, it sucked going through that and coming out the other side.
Yeah, definitely. And, I think that you bring up something that can really help people, and that is talking to their high self. Your high self is the highest expression of your soul that is not in physical. So when I say that, for those of you who might have not seen this episode, if you haven't, go back and watch the iPod episode. I don't remember which episode that was, like 4 or something. But when you connect to your high self, you're connecting to that highest expression of you that sits just here and is close to everything that you're experiencing, right? It's filtering everything that you're experiencing, right? So all this noise that you're going through as a human is being filtered up to your high self, and your high self is like processing it and experiencing it. And and your high self knows your plan and your purpose, and why are you here. So the reason that I think it's really important to connect with your high self is that in those moments when you feel like you're all alone, you're not. It's not just you. It's not just this you. It's not even just this you. Mm-hmm. It's the soul of you. The soul of you, the high self of you, your entire guide team part of you. I mean, you're talking about, it's not, sometimes people will look at, just giving up at times of like, well, I just, I know it'll disappoint my family. But is it just your family, or is it you? The soul that is you, the high self that is you, all of the guides and the angels and beings that stepped forward to say, yeah, I'm going to help you. It's not just you, and it's not just a disappointing to your family. Mm-hmm. What about your soul family? Mm-hmm. All the people and experiences and beings that are in your life chose to support you. They chose to do this thing with you. It's not just you.
Something to absolutely 100%. Something to add to that too is that you chose this. This is something that Heather and I say to each other all the time. I chose this, and it's like become like a joke, like whenever we're really in the shit of things of our time, it's like, I chose this. And it kind of gets me excited because for the reason that I wouldn't have chose badly. Like I've already had enough shit show lifetimes. I know that. I know that this lifetime was supposed to be different. I feel that. I know that with my entire soul that this lifetime was supposed to be different. And I know that I chose everything. Like I chose every piece of this journey, that hard time. I chose that. I knew that that was going to come, or, it would come a day that would happen or something. I would feel those raw emotions. And I also knew that there's another side to this, that there's joy, that I chose amazing things to happen to me and through me in this lifetime. So that's what keeps me going when I get stuck in all of the shit that's going on in the world, is I remind myself, I chose this, and I believe I would have chose good. Gosh darn it, I chose good. Like good's gonna come.
Totally. Yeah. It's funny. I'm like, I'm owed, darn it. Yeah. This is our conversation all the time. We're like, we chose this, but I'm owed.
Karmic.
Just totally. So, not to backtrack, but let's talk again about the Ascension symptoms.
Yes.
You can choose to feel the symptoms or not. Now, that is going to be a very triggering thing for anybody watching this right now, experiencing ascension symptoms. but you can choose to how quickly you move through those. And I'm going to give you a tip, like a trick that is really amazing. And that is, you can ask your high self and you can ask your guides to help your DNA speed up. I'm going to pause for effect there for just a second. You can ask your DNA to speed up so that it assimilates the new vibration more quickly. This is the power of the creator self that you are.
Mm-hmm.
You literally can ask your body to make changes to itself for the benefit of your new vibration. And you literally do it just like this. Okay, body, I need you to speed up to match the vibration of my new frequency. Thanks. Boom.
Boom, mic drop, done. Oh my gosh, that, and I wanted to mention too that my view on ascension is that your cells are going through something, like the third dimensional version of you is acclimating, I think the word is, to new densities. So obviously your body's going to feel something, but I love how you put that you can choose to feel it or choose to speed through it, or it doesn't have to be as bad. And if you find yourself in the middle of it right now and you're seeing this, ask now. It's never too late. Ease up on me, make it easy, speed my DNA up. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can even ask that the physical symptoms be lessened. Ask your guide, say, hey, whoa, too much. I need you to kind of lessen these symptoms for me.
Yeah.
It may slow your ascension slightly. It's okay. You're still going to get there. Yeah. You just may need to get there on a bicycle instead of a Ferrari. It's okay. Like, everybody has their own speed and their own journey.
Yeah, 100%. We also talked about a bunch of other things that you can do to help you through this process. My favorite is just breathing. The more that I ascend, the more that I ascend, the more that I feel the world, the more that I need to breathe. And that sounds silly, but like, intentionally freaking breathe. I find myself in the morning checking in. How do I feel? I feel off. I feel heavy. I feel whatever. And I go outside and I just breathe. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. If you have to, put your feet on the ground. That helps. Hug a tree, sit on the ground, like, get as close to the ground as you can. Lay on it if you want to. Just breathe it in. Something that, I picked up in yoga that's just coming through. So it obviously needs to be said. When you're laying on your back, what is that, like vinyasana? Whatever, like you're just laying on your back. Yes, that's right. If you have your hands up, this yoga teacher said you're open to receiving. And if you have your hands down, then you're like feeling into the earth. So put your hands on the earth, like, let Mother Nature do her thing, be a mother and heal. Ground.
Yeah, I mean, Mother Earth was not created for you to just live on. Like, it is not just a big glob of soil in the freaking sky that we put our house on.
What?
I know, right? Shocking. Breaking news, everybody. The earth was put here to balance your energy. You're here to be able to feel what grounding feels like. Like, everything in this world is orchestrated for your experience. Everything. You talk about going out and like hugging a tree, touch the plants. If you don't have a tree to hug, just touch the leaves, talk to the plants, tell the plants you're having a hard day. Ask the plants, can you transmute some of this negative energy I'm feeling? Just before we started this session, you and I had a conversation, and I was literally dragging myself into the chair to have the conversation, right? And so we were just chatting it up, and I was telling you about how tired I'm feeling, right? I'm just so tired. And when I got into the shower to get ready for our live, I literally went through the rigmarole. I'm like, this water is here to cleanse me. It's washing away the negativity, hey, high self, come in and, balance and align all my chakras, make sure they're all operating at optimal levels, elevate my vibration, clear off any funk on my haro line, remove all the cords, heal me, heal the cord, heal the person, place, or thing the cord's attached to. I couldn't believe how much better I felt when she got done.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's have us an episode.
I'm ready.
So, there are definitely things that you can do to raise your vibration where you physically don't even have to do anything. So there's no reason to not be positive.
Yeah.
Negativity is bullshit.
Or to move through it.
Exactly.
Through it.
Move through it.
Yeah. I often find myself saging. My favorite places to sage is underneath my palms, like wave it underneath my palms. And my armpits is a new one. That sounds weird, but under my armpits, but I'm intuitively just going with the flow. Where do I need to sage? And this chair, this seat, this space has needed the most sage of all. So I sage it. I feel that the kitchen table that I have right behind this desk, because my desk is in my kitchen / living room, I guess, area. Wide open concept. The chair that I often sit at needed to be sage. So I just wave the sage over it. I just intuitively listen to where this needs to go and what intention I need to breathe through that. When I was working a whole bunch to birth the creation of the new webinar that I did, it was in this seat. I want to experience clarity and flow. I want the words to just flow through me easily. So you have these tools, rocks, aka crystals. I just call them rocks. Holding them, making space for yourself. But I think something that we get stuck on is we like feeling like shit sometimes.
Totally. Because, misery loves company.
Right.
So, something that I do when I'm feeling like I'm having trouble connecting, and I don't know, maybe I've talked about this on a previous episode, but I'm going to say it again. I'm actually getting some of this in my hand to show you. Ooh. Can you all see that? Oh, I'm dropping them.
Is that salt?
It's salt. It is salt. It's pink Himalayan salt crystals. And I just eat one. And then I drink a glass of water. And that is very helpful in just, because the thing is as people, humans, meat suits, everything that we experience and all of that energy that flows through us with electrical current. One of the greatest conductive mediums is salty water. Water is very conductive in and of itself, but you add the mineral component of salt to it and it's like a superconductor. So by, just having a little bit of salt and drinking some water, that can change everything.
Yeah.
I don't know why I told you all that.
I think it's important. It's necessary. Something I want to add to that too. You don't find fancy salts that you can just for sucking on or eating or whatever. You just opened up your pink Himalayan salt shaker and took out the little tiny bites, the nuggets, and then, put them in your mouth.
Exactly.
I love that. Sometimes we just overthink things. And I wanted to add that because when you told me that, I was like, where do I get these pink Himalayan sea salt snacks? You're always, crunching on salt shaker. It never dawned on me, for as smart as I am. And I think as smart as we are as humans, sometimes we just need the easy way.
I mean, the thing is, one of the other things I think that is really helpful when you're experiencing, symptoms, or you just need a quick little, boost in your vibration or clearing out. I have pink Himalayan salt in my sleeve now. I'm like, it's like totally in there. I'm like, what is that? I'm like trying to shake it out. Anyway, I digress. But the what was I going to say? Oh, meditating. Oh my gosh, I know everybody is probably rolling their eyes right now. They're like, God, she always talks about the meditation, but really, like, even if you can't get there, like you can't meditate for 30 minutes or something, do it for like 5.
Yeah.
And there is such a meditation where the thoughts come in and you release them, and the thoughts come in and you release them, and it just kind of does this, right? And so you just sort through them. You just let them go. The minute they come in, you let them go. The minute they come in, you let them go. It's called transcendental meditation. And the thing about that is you don't have to sit there with an empty brain the entire time that you're doing it.
Yeah.
Let the thoughts come in and let them go. That's a form of meditation too. And if you can't sit there in the quiet, get on Headspace, and do a guided meditation, or just put on some, I don't know, Reiki sounds on YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube, 5-minute meditation, 4-minute meditation. I don't know, whatever you can handle, even if it's 1 minute.
Exactly.
It's
1 minute of peace.
Yeah. And it's 1 minute for now. That's a really good point too, Heather, of doing what you can do, even knowing what makes you feel better. You knew that having a shower and talking to your high self and clearing some of that stuff would make you feel better. So you did that. Sometimes for me, it's just going for a drive with no music and just allowing the thoughts to go through. I mean, maybe I'm meditating while I'm driving, which is not a good idea. Fun fact about me, this is probably bad. But I used to drive long distance, training a couple of hours away from my brokerage business. And I started listening to meditation music, but it was, oh man, I can't remember which waves it was, alpha or omega or whatever. Then I learned, after doing this several times and not really remembering how I got home, that it's like, it can cause like hallucinogenic states. I was like, oh crap.
Wow.
Definitely shouldn't have done that. Don't do that. I don't do that anymore, but that's something that calms me down. Going for a walk calms me down. Breathing calms me down. Knowing what's going to move you through this moment. So important. Even if it's just salt.
Even if it's just salt and a good old glass of water. It's funny. We watch those like home improvement shows sometimes. And what I find really interesting is so many people, and I know all the mamas on here are going to totally relate to this. It's so interesting how so many home improvement shows focus on the master bathroom. I'm like, why? You're in it probably the least amount of time. Like, really, you spend probably most of your time like in your living room, in your kitchen, probably mostly in your kitchen, because you do all that cooking and stuff. I mean, most people that cook, but you think about like, in your bathroom, you spend some time in there, but it's your bathroom. Like, it's where you poop, right? Yep. So I think I figured it out why they do it. I think they create the sanctuary because it's the one place in the house that they can lock the door and all the kids are stuck outside.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
I think you nailed it. When I was a kid, we had my mom and dad, my brother and me, and then I have two older sisters. But by the time that, I was like 6 or 7, they were out of the house. They were gone. And it was just the 4 of us. But we lived in this tiny home. My parents still lived there, 2 bedrooms upstairs. Me and my brother had bedrooms downstairs, very small, 1 bathroom. So there was nowhere you could go. And if you were bored, you got to go outside because we had the knob TV, you have 3 channels and 2 of them are fuzzy and one of them is news. So they all sucked. And, the only video that we had was Dr. Zhivago. And I've never watched it. It sounds awful. But anyway, I would actually, after I had a bath or I had a shower, I would lay towels out on the bathroom floor and I would put a towel around me and I would just lay on the floor. And I would lay there for an hour, just, ruminating in the steam, just time alone, away from the rest of my family, just me, myself, and I. I would just lay there and sometimes fall asleep. I never thought about the disgusting, poop factor, but I think it is a sanctuary and water is healing. I mean, setting an intention when you get into your shower or even into your bathtub, infusing the water with love, having the intention that the water heals you, that it lifts you up, that it expands your frequency and makes you more abundant or whatever it is that you want. Just saying that to the water before you get in. Magical. Yeah.
For sure.
So magical. Yep. Just like our conversations every time.
I know. We're so fun. I love us.
No. Look at us. We have so much more to dig into, but I'm afraid that we're not gonna have time. Like we wanted to talk about, identifying your own frequency versus others' frequency, what it's like to receive information, how to protect yourself, actually talking to your higher self. We've got so much more to go. Is there anything that you think we could add to this conversation? Because I think we're going to take most of those and talk about them next week.
I don't think so. I mean, I think that this is probably a good place to kind of break this up. If we get into any of that stuff, it'll leave people on a cliffhanger. Not that we don't like our cliffhangers, but it still kind of is a cliffhanger knowing it's coming next week. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yes. Next week, we're going to be talking about identifying your frequency versus others, what it's like to receive information, how to protect yourself. I think we should add it in there. Psychic attacks, what that feels like. Because I think we have a lot of leaders in this space who maybe have a target on their back. We've
definitely
felt that way. And then how to validate, what you are receiving, all of that stuff, that will be next week. But I think
definitely, I want to take a minute if we can and just say hi to Kat and Lynette. And those are the ones who are actually on here saying hi. Hi guys, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And thank you everybody for watching. And Jodie knows how we close these things out. Something about the like button and the subscribing button and all of those buttons.
If you like this video, share it with your friends. It's going to go live tomorrow. Subscribe. Make sure that you hit the notification button. Share, like. We want to spread this message to the entire world, wrap our arms around the entire world. Our collective mission, Heather and I, in this lifetime is to assist humanity with our gift sets. Heather through trance channeling, helping the outstanding leaders of the world set out on their mission and utilize channeling to help. And I utilize channeling to help entrepreneurs consistently attract more money. We're going to have all of our links below. So if you want to check us out, I know Heather's working on some really exciting stuff coming up. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for being here. And we will see you on Tuesday next week.
Yay. Thank you guys for coming. Bye.